Hey everybody, welcome back. Monday Morning Briefing, episode number 119. It's Friday, June the 28th. June is gone. We are getting into July. The summer's moving fast. We got a lot of stuff going on in the shop, have been for the last couple of weeks. And so we haven't had a Monday video, just kind of been hunkered down. If you're following me on Instagram, you probably saw we're doing quite a few repairs. I've got some of our saddles that are in for some cleaning. I found one of the saddles that we were working on. We ended up digging into it and kind of cleaning it, stirrup leathers, normal things, but we found some other stuff. And so that's what's nice about repair. If you guys that are doing saddle repair, we only do saddle repair really on the saddles that we build, and we try to these days. We try to keep just our saddles coming in for any kind of repairs or whatever. We'll handle that, but outside of that, we don't do a whole lot. But the nice thing with having a saddle cleaned once a year is what I used to tell my customers is that it gives us the opportunity to check things that you may not be checking as the horseman or the rider. And so we ended up finding some stuff. One quick thing on repair, I want to talk about two products we've talked about before. One being this Duff's leather dressing. As some of y'all know that watch all the Monday videos, we got some of this last year. It was given to me, a couple cans of it to just try and play with. We really liked it. I played with it a little bit here and there, and it was really neat. Got to meet Mr. Bennett. Bob Bennett owns this thing, and he's just a really nice guy. We started buying some of it, started selling some of it. We do offer it on the website, so if you want to try some, you can certainly get some on there. But I have been using it quite a bit the last few weeks, especially on these repairs, and I'm very impressed with how this conditioner, this dressing in particular, I haven't used all of his products. I do have some of his oils and things, and I do have some of the saddle soap that I've been using on edges. Started making some little bars. Working really good on edges. It smells really nice. I don't know, saddle soap, I don't know what makes one better than others, but it works great. But this dressing right here, I'm really impressed with how well it works on older saddles. It did a great job just conditioning the leather. Did a really neat, as far as like a really neat job. It didn't leave it slimy and feeling kind of sticky. I'm a big fan of Skidmore's. I always will be. I'll always use Skidmore's leather cream. I really like that stuff. But I'm having a lot of fun with this too. I'm not gonna say it's better or worse. I'm not gonna say it's a replacement or when I'll use it versus the other, but it's a good extra one to have in your arsenal as far as like a good quality leather conditioner. Some conditioners can get a little crazy, and then over time can also leave a film or make your product, your reins or whatever, just be magnets for dirt and dust and that kind of thing because they're sticky. This does not do that. Skidmore's isn't super bad about that either. Once it's soaked in and dried, it doesn't do that either. I haven't had that issue, so that's why I've always used it. This is a lot the same, but it's just different. I don't know if it's better or worse. I just really like it, and I'm going to use it on some new stuff, and I'll keep y'all posted. But get some of this if you're. I'm a leather nut, right? So I just like using different leather products and trying them all. This one's worth a shot. You need to try this one on something. It does a really good job on new stuff too. But also too, you know, we've got our big can of saddle soap here that I thought I'd never use all of this. I just wanted the can, but I ended up buying this and getting a couple empty cans as well for some different stuff I'm going to use in my cook shack. I've been using this can of saddle soap. I don't know if we talked about it we have a 3-part series on our YouTube channel on how I break down, wash, and oil and condition and put back together a saddle. And so if you've been wanting to do that or maybe offer that service to your customers, that's a great video series. I've had a lot of good feedback on that as far as just giving you a method or a process for accomplishing that, getting a good deep cleaning on a saddle. And I might have mentioned it in there, but we used to use saddle soap. When I originally learned, it was you washed it with a detergent soap, you know, just like Dawn is what I usually recommend. Ivory, something that's a natural soap. It's not something really harsh. Getting the dirt and grime and film off of the leather, getting it rinsed away, and then going back with the saddle soap, lathering it back up, because this is meant and intended to be lathered onto the leather, and then you leave it. You don't rinse the suds off. You leave that on there. You make a lather and you put that on, leave it on and let it dry, and then you buff that out and then oil and condition after that. And I mentioned in that video, I'm pretty sure, but years ago, we dropped that part of our process. And I did because in my mind, it was just an extra step. And at that time, we had repairmen. And so we would have, I had 2 guys that were doing repair, college kids, you know, they'd come in different times or whatever. And we might have 30 saddles in the shop that we were doing anything from minor stitching the horn cap back up to full deep clean stirrup leathers, sheepskin, all of the things. And so we just kind of dropped that step out because I figured you're washing it, then the next day you're going to oil and condition, next day, next 2 days, just depending on how fast it dried. And so we just dropped it and I never put it back in. Well, since I've gotten this huge can of saddle soap, I thought, well, I've got to use it. I got to try it. So I went ahead and tried it on the last couple saddles. We've done one leave that I did, and it's already gone. But I went ahead and did it, and I really like the difference in the way the leather feels once the saddle dries. Sometimes when you use just soap, and I guess it's just been so long I haven't noticed it. I haven't noticed any kind of damage doing that or anything like that. It's fine. It's just from a craftsmanship standpoint, if you want to add that step back in, give it a shot and see what you think. Buy you one of these small cans or even the glycerin saddle soap bar. That's the same thing. The yellow and the white, they're both the same. The guys at Feebings told me that there's nothing different really in there other than the color. So even the glycerin bar, you could probably use that. But put that step back in and see what you think. I just like the way once the saddle dries and it's not wet anymore, that leather seems to have a little bit more limberness to it. It's a little softer. It doesn't get, because when you wash it with soap and then let it dry, it does have a firm feel afterwards. And obviously because that soap is actually pulling away oil from the leather and you're rinsing that out. But again, in my mind, years and years ago, was I'm gonna go back in and condition with a good oil, and then we're gonna use a good conditioner. And like we talked about in that video, you can use any oil, peanut oil, olive oil, whatever you want to use. And so anyway, I've been using the saddle soap again, putting that back in the step. I like it. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I don't do repair full time anymore, so taking the extra time doesn't bother me, and I just like the way it feels when it's done. I've been doing my boots, just lathering them up with saddle soap. Makes the leather stay kind of soft and limber. So don't skip that. Try to put that back in your system. Like I said, you're not gonna hurt anything not doing it, I don't think. Long term, most people wash it with a saddle, gets washed once in its lifetime if it's lucky. At least down here, a lot of people just aren't good at cleaning their tack anyway, so the dry rot can be blamed on that, just because they're not doing anything with it. Real quick on olive oil. I learned a little interesting piece of information. We've always used olive oil. I've told y'all that. That's what I use. That's my preferred. You can use anything. I know guys that use vegetable oil. I know guys that use peanut oil. I use olive oil. I know guys that use neat's foot oil. And then Duff's actually has their own oil, which we'll talk about in a second. Any of it's good, right? Anything's better than nothing. But I just prefer olive oil. I tried to order some from the company where I used to get the tin cans y'all may have seen on some of our videos. It was a Corello brand, I believe. They don't sell that anymore, but they sent the thing that they have as a comparable. Well, it's not comparable because it's extra virgin olive oil, and it was about $115 a gallon, about $100 a gallon. With shipping and everything, which was insane. Or not gallon, a liter. It came with 3 bottles, 5-liter bottles, so the big jugs, and it was $100 a piece. And so I was like, whoa, I was shocked. That is not the case. I used to buy those 6-gallon case of those, just pomace oil or regular olive oil, not extra virgin, and I want to say it was $150 maybe for 6 gallons. It may have been $120. I can't remember. So anyway, we got the olive oil. I reached out to a gentleman, asked him, because I asked a couple, and some of them didn't know. They're like, I don't know, I don't use olive oil, so I don't know, because I thought I need to check before I use the extra virgin, because there's got to be something different about it. And it turns out the information I got from this gentleman was that it can cause or may cause a film to develop on the leather over time, like later. So you oil it with extra virgin olive oil, and then say, I don't remember what he said, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, sometime down the road, you get this white film. And I have seen this in other leather conditioners. I've seen this film on stuff. There was one we used one time and everything looked great, and a month later the guy brought a saddle in and it was white with this film. It buffed out, wasn't a big issue, but it's like that rose to the top over time, and then it leaves this thin white hazy film on the leather, and it's just unsightly. And so he said that olive oil will do that. The extra virgin olive oil will do that. The regular one won't, because it's been refined. So there's something in there that they've taken out, or they've added something in that prevents that from happening. Obviously olive oil is not made, it's not manufactured to put on leather. It's manufactured to use in culinary stuff, right? Foods. But anyway, I found that interesting. I'm trying to figure out if I can run a test on that to see. It may be a long-term test. I don't know if I have time. But anyway, I am the proud owner of 3 5-liter bottles, $300 value of extra virgin olive oil. So my kitchen at home, my cook shack is completely stocked with olive oil. We're good to go. But there's probably gonna be a project video come out of this mistake that I made. I couldn't send it, I probably could have sent it back, but I had a friend here behind us, a barbecue joint, that went through the trouble ordering it for me and having it brought in, and I just didn't want to bother him with my screw up, and so I just said, heck with it, we'll keep it. The shop now just bought a lot of olive oil that we can't use, because I'm not gonna use it on I don't wanna use it on saddles and have that problem. Again, I don't think it hurts anything, but it doesn't look good. So I've never had anybody ask, but if you have been watching and wondering, well, can I use just extra virgin olive oil, or do I have to get the regular, not extra virgin? Then I'm gonna say, probably don't use the extra virgin olive oil, just use regular. And I'm thinking about switching and trying, I don't know if I'll switch for good, but trying some peanut oil. So we might do that sometime in the future and see what we think. I've got a good friend that uses that, and I'm not against it. I've used it before, but may try it for a little while and see how that works. But anyway, back to the Duffs real quick. He does make an oil, and this gentleman that I was visiting with said he's been trying it and he's very impressed with that too. I don't know price comparison wise, but it's worth a shot to try that. So he said it's really nice, penetrates really well, it leaves a nice good color, it doesn't over darken, it's even, and I've talked to Mr. Bennett about that before, so we may be trying some of that too. So I'm kind of in the mode of just trying all kinds of new things right now, especially on some saddles that I'm building that are just going to be for sale. Speaking of saddles that we're building, the ones behind us are for customers, and honestly I've been hunkered down on them, as well as trying to get some project videos done that are coming up here pretty quick, and so I've been working on these customer saddles, working on the repairs, so things have been kind of crazy busy in the shop, but these two are for customers. We're hoping to have these done in the next couple of weeks, and we're just working through our list, try to get some of those out. As far as project videos, we do have a new project video that I was hoping would be out today. If you're on the newsletter, you know about it. We opened pre-orders up on that to the newsletter, so they've had early access to the pattern pack, but the patterns will hopefully be here next week, as well as the video will post. I'm thinking probably Monday, maybe Wednesday. It's pretty well done. We just got to polish it up, and I think it's going to be a good video. I think everybody's going to enjoy that. But the biggest thing that's been going on since about Wednesday is, again, if you're on the newsletter list, you know about this. Again, that's why I always tell you guys sign up for the Leathercraft newsletter, because we do try to kind of give them a heads up of new things that are happening, new goings on, things like that. But we got our next load of leather in finally. I know it's been a while. We've been out of a lot of material packs, and I apologize for that, but I think I've mentioned that in the newsletter. Well, we're a small business, mom and pop, and so sometimes your resources you've got to divert for different projects that you're working on, bigger things that you're doing, and so we're just kind of in that position where we kind of let our inventories go down a little bit and kind of get some of the scrap cleaned out and make some space, and kind of get some other projects swept out of the way. And now we've got our leather in, and so we should be good going forward. My next shipment is already about ready to go, so we should be good going forward to where we hopefully will not run out again. I don't like running out, but sometimes I've got to focus on what we got to focus on. But we have all the material packs on the website completely filled. So if you've been looking for guitar straps, gunslings, thumb holed and shaped, the golf ball sleeves, super popular. All of those have been restocked in all the weights. We will do our best to keep them stocked up, and I haven't cut nearly half of what we got already, and so those are all on the website. If you have been waiting or been looking for something, belt material packs, all of that, and I will let you know, I also have a limited supply of the wool pads. I will try to put those on as quickly as possible, and get those on there. We've got to get those bagged up. I never have enough of those, and I apologize, but it's hard to find enough scrap sheepskin to cut up just for wool pads. So, and we're not going to cut up good sheepskin that we need for saddle skirts and other makers need for saddle skirts. I'm not going to buy up those just to chop them up into little deals. So best thing, if you do need a lot of sheepskin applicators, is to find you a saddle maker that's somewhere close to you, and I bet you can buy all his scraps fairly cheap. So then you have to hand cut them or cut them yourself, but we do our best to try to keep some available as much as possible. But yeah, so the last 2 days have been back there just cutting and getting all the bins filled for Claudia. She's been, getting orders out from the newsletter. They knew about this a couple of days ago, so try to get that done. And now we're letting everybody know that we do have all that fulfilled. Some of y'all may have already stumbled upon that on the website, that they're all stocked up. And so we're going to continue to cut. We have been trying not to die of heat stroke back there, because it's a full 100 plus here, and in that cut room in the back, if y'all have been here and seen my cut room where my clicker is, it is just a metal building, no insulation. And so yeah, I get a good sauna opportunity in there, as far as exfoliating my pores and letting everything kind of sweat out. I think I sweat out my shirt 3 times yesterday back there. I was back there pretty well all day. So, but I'm staying hydrated, staying healthy. So if I keel over, God bless y'all. I love y'all. But I think I'll be fine. It's not that bad. But it is hot. It is hot. It's at least I'm in the shade, so that's a good deal. But we're going to keep cutting, keep going. We do have a new podcast episode out that landed today on Friday. Meant to post it yesterday, but got busy. I was back there all day. But it is with Matt Warner with Burn Saddlery, and it's a great episode. I kind of proofread it and listened to the episode earlier this morning, and I forgot it's been so long. I did like 6 or 8 of them before we went to Sheridan, so I couldn't really remember all the details of what we talked about, but man, it was just a good saddle maker to saddle maker conversation. We talked about pricing, we talked about all kinds of stuff, and it was very enlightening to learn all of what Burn Saddlery and that company is doing, and with his help, he's a part of that deal, and the Illume and all that stuff, their online teaching platform and what they're doing. So it's a really, really neat interview, a neat conversation. So if you want to listen to that, you can go to our website and just click on podcast. That's where Lost Trade Podcast lives. You can go on there and see all the episodes. I think we're over 55 episodes now. And so you can listen to his episode there. And you can also go to Apple or Spotify and pick you one out, or search that and find it there and pick an episode and give it a listen if you haven't heard any of them yet. Most of y'all here have listened to them. I appreciate that. I actually got to be on a podcast myself as a guest here recently with Monday Mornings with Carrie and Willie. And it's Carrie Schwartz and Wilson Capron. They have a podcast that they do every Monday. I've been listening to a few of them. I can't catch them all the time, but I've listened to quite a few of them. Just a good little conversation, hour long, just kind of sitting around shooting the BS, and talking and visiting, and had a lot of fun. Carrie called and asked if I wanted to come on, and I know Wilson fairly decently. We've done some stuff together, and I've known him for a few years now, and so I was happy to go on there, and it was a fun conversation. We had a good time, and got a lot of good feedback on there. Had a lot of our friends that I didn't know were listening to that podcast before I had posted it on Instagram. They had texted me and said, "Hey, I just heard you on their podcast." So that was kind of cool. So it was kind of fun. It was nice to just sit there and answer questions and talk and visit, and not have to worry about if I hit the record button or if I got everything right, or if hoping the file's going to be good and worrying about all that. I let them worry about this one. So that was kind of fun. But I appreciate all y'all that sent me feedback on that. And thank you to Carrie and Willie for letting me come on there and be a part of their deal. And other than that, man, we're just going to get back at it. I know it's Friday. I know you've been missing the Monday videos. Do our best to get them out as best we can. We got project videos coming. I got tip videos I've been shooting and working on. Little bitty things, little tips and tricks that I think are going to be helpful. Those always do good. We've done a couple of those this month and last month. Anyway, we're going to get back on doing that. And yeah, just a lot of stuff. Be watching on Monday. Hopefully we can post that Monday. It's going to be a good project video. And we're going to kick off July great, and try to get rolling in the heat of the summer. There's no other place I'd rather be than in this air-conditioned shop. And so hopefully that'll generate a lot of videos for you guys. And we'll be getting ready to go to Waco in August for the Heart of Texas Leather Show. So look that one up at the leathercraftersjournal.com. You can go there and check that out, find all the information on that show that's coming up first part of August. I appreciate you guys watching. Please go to dgsaddlery.com, sign up for the Leathercraft newsletter. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we'll see y'all next week in the Monday Morning Briefing.